Buongiorno, buonasera, benvenuti amici. Welcome, my friends. My name is Vincenzo, and welcome to my channel, Fountain Pen Therapy. Today, I have a pen review for you. Finally, Majohn has in this box a brand new pen. Let's take a look at it. Is it an original or is it a déjà vu? Stay tuned. Yes, indeed. Majohn has a new pen. I'm not sure if I'm the only one who thinks this way, but I cannot recall when was the last time that I reviewed a Majohn pen that it was brand new. I know I reviewed one of the skeleton pens, but that pen had been out for some time. So I think this is the first. In any event, I think it's the first that I've seen. And here it is. First of all, very interesting. Comes in a little box, the regular Majohn box. It has instruction on how to fill the pen, which is always very useful. And here's the pen, folks. There it is. Now, there is also, it also came with an additional nib. So it's got two nibs, and we'll get to that in a second. So let's put the box aside, and let's take a closer look at this pen. Now, I don't know if anybody of you are familiar with the pen that this Majohn appears to have inspired itself. I don't think that Hemingway Jones is going to be very happy about this pen because the original, I believe, the original of this pen is one of his favorite, if not the favorite pen in his collection. And I will put it up on the screen. It is the Mont Blanc. It's a Mont Blanc pen. Take a look at it. I mean, I think that this pen is quite similar to the Majohn, or the Majohn, in fact, is quite similar to this one. So there you have it. Anyway, let's take a look at this pen. First of all, let's take a look at the top here. As you can see, the top this is, I believe, a resin cap with Majohn. You can actually feel it. So Majohn is embossed in that cap. There is the clip. The clip is stiff but springy. There is, no, it's not the White Mountain, but it's certainly something that looks like, or similar in any event. There it is. It's a nice finial, as it turns out. Very, very nice. And then, of course, the pen, you can see that it has a body. Apparently, the body is made out of copper and then silver plated. It's got some very nice, intricate embossing there. Very, very nice. It's got two rings here, a ring at the bottom. Nice top finial there. The pen opens up in 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3, 3.5. Oh, for some people that's not good. I don't mind. I really don't care in how many turns it takes to open the pen, but that's just me. Now I've got on it this nib, which is the Moonman, a Moonman fine nib. However, it did come with, let me tell you, it came with two nibs. In fact, it arrived with this lemon, probably, from what I could see, it is probably an architect grind. And I don't like these lemon architect grinds. I just can't write with them. So I've switched it up and put back in the Moonman or the Majohn fine nib. Eventually, I'm going to put a 1.1 stub, the Moonman Majohn 1.1 stub that they sell. So I get rid of this fine. But it all depends. We'll see how this fine writes. You should know that the nib, you can see those two inserts there, does open up with this wrench, which is the wrench used for the what is it, the P136, I guess. But you know what? If you twist this hard enough without this tool, the pen or the nib unit does come out. And now this part appears to be resin or plastic. It does have a piston filler. Smooth mechanism, I must say, but no ink window. That could be a shortcoming. There's the finial. Now, is this finial made out of plastic or does it have a metal component? Difficult for me to say. There is a... Oh, let's just deal with this part first. As far as the pen itself, it's a little short, but, you know, nothing drastic. That section is very nice. The screwing mechanism there is done very well. It's polished very nicely. This pen does post because it screws in. It has this screwing mechanism that allows you to post the pen, and we'll come back to that in a second. So the pen does post. The problem with it is, of course, that it doesn't line up for some reason, and there may be a way just to get this thing turned so it does line up a little bit better, but I haven't figured it out yet. And maybe somebody else will let me know how I should be doing this. When you close the pen, normally, when you cap it, you can see that it does line up at least fairly well with this face or this face of this faceted barrel. But when you screw it in so that you post it, I'm afraid that it's a little skewed there, as you can see. So it doesn't line up with your clip. Now, some people, that could be a fatal flaw in this pen that will make it such that they would not buy it. I'm okay with it, frankly, but surely I thought this was a nice pen until I start to see that, you know, it's a little flimsy. It doesn't have an ink window. It is a Mont Blanc imitation. But you know what? It's pretty. It's too bad because it really is pretty. Anyway, we'll see how that... I guess the verdict is out until I check out that nib, and then we shall see. But there again, you know, these days nibs can be replaced. I don't see why this nib wouldn't be nice and wet, frankly. But, you know, you can replace the nib. And these Majohn nibs are not overly expensive. So there you have it. Does it have any... let's take a look inside this barrel to see if it has anything of interest. Difficult to say. I think it's just way back in there. Let me just take a closer look there. No, I don't think there's a step there, so it's hard to say. It's hard to see, but I think it goes all the way to the ends. But we'll see if this cap, you know, keeps the pen dry. The verdict is still out on that, but after I will try it for a week or two, and then we shall see what happens. So there you have the pen on the outside and on the inside. So why don't we take a look at a size and pen comparison, and I will be right back. Okay, so here are the pens uncapped and unposted, and you can tell that the faceted P138 is, you know, equivalent to the M400, equivalent to the M8, just slightly smaller than the P136. And do they all cap? The M806 caps, the M400 caps, the M8 struggles to cap. This, of course, caps very nicely if we can screw that in. There we go. And the P136 doesn't cap cap at all. And of course the A1 is a clipless, so clipless, and it doesn't post for obvious reasons. So there you have it. Posted, I would say that the P138 is the smallest when compared to the other ones here before us today. So there you have the pens capped, uncapped, and posted. We will do some, I will put up the measurement table, and then we'll do a writing sample. Okay, so we're back with the writing sample. First of all, the journal will be my Tomoyo River Galen leather notepad. Very nice. And it gives me that Tomoyo River quality. The ink will be this Majohn ink. Folks, I don't know if you took a look at my video. I did review a series of Majohn inks. I got to tell you, these inks are really good, well priced, very nice. This is the kind of the blue-black version. I forget what I forget if there's a name attached to this ink, but it is essentially a blue-black color. And if you take a look at the swatch, here it is. You have the that's the Majohn light blue, and this is the Majohn blue black. And as you could see, it's a nice blue black. It's got even some red sheen there, which is a nice touch. Very, very nice ink. We'll see how it works, or how it does with this Majohn nib. Okay, so we're all set for the writing sample. There we go. So this is the Majohn. Now I can tell you this nib is luscious. Majohn P138. And this is, because there's various models, I forgot to mention that. This is the black cap, silver barrel. In fact, if you check it out on the site, there's some that come with both cap and barrel silver, both black, some with this polished black, some with a more embossed black. There's the reverse. There's a series of models. So I invite you to take a look at that. I bought mine on AliExpress. I haven't seen it on Etsy or on any other site. The nib that I chose amongst the two that came with this pen is the Majohn Steel number 6 fine nib, and let me tell you, very, very, very nice. The ink is the Majohn. Again, I don't know the name of the ink per se, or even if there was a name, but it's the blue black. Very wet, very, very wet. Is it springy? Not really. It's fairly stiff, I would say. Can I get some line variation? Not really. I mean, it feels like it's springy because it's a fine, but it's fairly, it does have a little bit of give. You know, I can get a little bit of line variation there, but I wouldn't fool around with this nib too much. It is most constant. Let's see, in terms of fast writing, as you could see, that nib really flows very, very nicely. People tell me reverse writing. I think a pen is not made to write with reverse, but even draw. You know, you want to draw, you change pen. You don't do this. But in any event, look, people like to see reverse. It's actually, I would say, an extra fine. And it kind of goes along. It doesn't even dry. So here you go. It keeps writing. So there you have it. If you really absolutely need to use it, go ahead. So I've done the reverse writing, folks. Don't criticize me. There you go. What else is left here? Yeah, that's it. So I think this pen is very wet, very smooth, and very constant. Now, what are my likes and what are my dislikes? Well, the likes, the first like I have to mention is the nib. I give the nib a 10 on 10. Very, very nice. I hate to say it, but I like the design. Now, I know it's a copy design, and some of you might be critical because of that, but regardless, I like the design. The design is nice. The build quality, I mean, one of the first things I noticed about this pen when I took it out of the box is how light it is. And for a pen that has kind of a little bit of metal there, it just has this kind of flimsy, cheap quality to it. You know what I'm saying? Thank God this silver faceted barrel kind of saves it. Otherwise, the rest is kind of, I don't know how to say it. I just don't get the feeling that this is an expensive pen, you know? So the build quality, I'm puzzled by it, let's just say. The dislikes, so, 50-50 here. Okay. The other dislike is the way the posting doesn't line up. And no ink window. But, some might say that that's not the end of the world. And between you and I rarely rely on my ink window. I find myself just kind of running out of ink, if you will. I don't have this instinct to keep checking the window to see if there's ink or not. So I'd be lying to you if I say that personally it makes a difference. But some do use their windows. And so that might be it might be fatal for them. So no ink window. What else is there? Dislike. There's nothing else for me to dislike about this pen. I got to tell you, I really, really like it. Otherwise, and would it be a go-to pen at the office? Absolutely, 10 on 10. Got nice character. Writes very nicely, especially for my grid Albanici, where I need a thinner line to take down notes and telephone calls and to-do lists, etc. Absolutely. So there you have it. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope it's informative. Look, it's a brand new Majohn offering, so we take it when it comes, as they say. I think this pen is nice. I would definitely recommend it. I forgot about value, by the way. I'll put up the value up on the screen. It may be a little more expensive than I would have liked. That's my recollection, but I could be wrong. And in any event, I will put it up, and I apologize for that. I forgot about value. So if it is expensive, then that might be, a deal breaker, as they say. You have to use your judgment. I personally like the pen. I really, really like the pen, and I could imagine how that real Mont Blanc and why Hemingway Jones loves it. So there you have it. Grazie molto. Thank you very much for joining me. Please subscribe. I've got my recap. You take a look at that until next week. And I've got another review coming up probably this Thursday, and probably an Italian pen because it's once a month and the month has arrived. So there you have it. Thank you very much for joining me. Be safe. Enjoy your pens.